world trying to cross border.
I just saw it. Unbelievable.
Excuse me. I just burped.
That's
Like,
all right.
this goes out to the universe, and I just
but it's better to burp and taste it than to fart and waste it.
Good point by you. You know what? That's why you get the big money. All right, everybody. We got so much to talk about. It's a little bit before 11 o'clock on Monday, the 25th of November. I think it is 25th.
Thanksgiving week.
Yeah. Some fun times for New York football. We've got some politics to talk about. We're wondering why Joe Biden was not competent enough to run for president again, but he's allowing Ukraine to send out U.S. missiles into Russia. We're going to discuss that. Mr. Mark Puttenvink, how are you, you sexy bugger?
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah. I was at the Acme this morning already.
Yeah.
So they've had Christmas cookies out for like a week already.
Oh.
Like they're going to be a little bit stale, don't you think?
Do you like those sugar cookies?
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? But,
I know.
I mean, my mother used to make the Italian style cookies every year.
Right.
And they were tremendous. I mean, there literally would be fist fights over them.
Oh, I've got to fight. Speaking of my mother used to make these flourless chocolate cookies. I think, was it flourless or sugar?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to find the recipe for that. I remember those. Those were unbelievable.
We went into Edmonton, and Dale was really excited because his mother was going to be there, and she had made him a tin of butter cookies.
Oh,
I mean, this is what he was really pumped up about.
My mother used to make raspberry tarts.
Oh, those are good too.
Oh, she would make each individual, like the pastry, a little, like then put all homemade. She'd go up to college where we were, and she'd make hundreds of them. Like the guys, we play Friday and Saturday night. Oh, so after the game of Friday night, they all go back to my parents' hotel room, eat the tarts, and get hammered. Wow.
Same thing. There you go.
Yeah, totally. How was your weekend? Anything exciting going on?
Quiet. Yeah, just quiet weekend. Yeah, did some training, did my thing, and my little guy Dominic.
A great video there. The little boy, is that the boy from California?
Well, there's two. Marshall is in California. He's 10. And then Dominic, who is a guy that I've been training and I'm friends with for years now, Al, it's his 5-year-old son.
Oh.
So he's a trip. Like he'll hit the heavy bag, Tom, and then he'll walk away like this.
Oh, I love that.
He's awesome. They both are. All the kids are.
All right. So, okay. Now, this one we have to be delicate on the Rangers, the state of the Rangers.
Oh.
I know. I mean, obviously, I'm so proud. I played for him. You worked for him and everything like that, and you wanted him to do well.
Yeah.
Just you kind of you wonder almost, are they too talented and just think they can get by on their talent? I don't know what it is, but
well, there's a couple. My theory is a couple things. One is, if someone was to ask me what is the New York Rangers team character, I wouldn't be able to give them an answer.
I know.
I wouldn't be able to say, hey, whatever it is. There's nothing. There just doesn't seem to be any kind.
Yeah.
I also think that the way the contracts are structured nowadays, I won't call out anybody, but I think you probably can read between the lines. There's guys you can't move anymore, and you're stuck with them.
I know.
You're really stuck with them.
And it's one of those things too. They'll look back at their careers, and there's not many guys can look back at their careers, and you know this. They can say, you know what, I got almost everything out of my career. Right. Not many guys can do that, and that's one thing I look back at. You realize, oh God, I was happy with it, but I wish I got to get more.
I think you could probably say all third line guys get everything out of it.
Yep, totally.
Every shift's an audition.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
But I think also the league, like football, right? There's like 8 teams, 6 teams. The rest is all just kind of here.
I know. Here's the magic man himself, Barry Shelley. Didn't you post a video, you, Barry, and somebody else?
Probably, yeah. We have a lot of content the Warriors did when we went up, and I mean that was a tremendous weekend Barry put together. We'll never forget that.
Good man.
He's a humble guy. He's a veteran himself, and he doesn't.
Yeah, I know.
So
does so much for everybody else. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. He is a fine human being. We need more of that. That's for sure. Some sad breaking news. I just looked out my window and saw a moving truck. Now, there's a woman and her husband live there, and they have 2 dogs.
What did you do?
No, I haven't done anything. I was actually very. I restrained myself. She's okay. I'll give you an example. Probably a very fine person, and she loves her dog. One of those people that thinks her dogs now should be shared with the entire universe because she has dogs. And I was in the back deck the other day. I heard her screaming, and there was a hawk who had caught a squirrel. and it was sitting outside. She's going, "Oh my God." I'm thinking, okay, there's something wrong with this woman. I don't like this woman. I'm going to have to go save her life. And it was a hawk. So,
yeah, my buddy lives in California. Someone he knew left their poodle attached like on a rope out on the deck, and coyotes ripped it right in half.
Oh,
yeah. They're around. Yeah.
Yes. This is it. Congratulations to Mark for being inducted in this summer into the Hall of Fame.
Barry's a little. He's being a little shy here because he just got inducted to a Hall of Fame himself down in I believe Texas. Correct, Barry?
Oh, really?
And there's no, there's no one that does more for veteran causes and for hockey than Barry Shelley. There's no tremendous human being.
He is. He's good. I know I told the story. I sort of telling again. When I met him, I had not known him, and he wanted to get an autograph picture, and which people do that a lot. He was very gracious. Sent it to me. Turned the envelope the whole bit. I sent it back, and his wife had contacted me. I think it was online or whatever. And he was very emotional about it. He sent me he's a part of the military police, and sent me his patch. It was on his uniform for like 20 years. I said, you don't have to do that. I mean, but that's.
I'll tell you what. When you go up to the rink of dreams, you could literally spend a month going through everything. He's got stuff. And I'm a big fan of that. I love all the looking at stuff in the 40s and 30s in minor leagues, and some guys you kind of remember and stuff. Yeah. It's really cool. Yeah.
Very true. Very true. Okay, let's go Giants first because they played this weekend. That was friggin' embarrassing. Oh my God.
Well, I tell you before. So the Giants have a high school quarterback playing.
Yeah.
And the Jets have a guy who should be coaching high school playing.
I know.
It's a mess.
It's and this Malik Neighbors, who's a supposedly star player, he's a great athlete, but he hasn't. I think he's kind of quit. Like he started off like great catches and all this kinds of stuff, and then the last time they played Washington, like 3 games ago, I think it was, they called a timeout. The Giants are losing. They're trying to come back in the game. They were close, I think, within 3 points, or whatever. So during the timeout, he's over on the sideline of the Washington Redskins because the quarterback over there is his college buddy. So they're chatting during the timeout where he's like.
That would be the last time that would happen.
Oh, I know. Well, then I read in the paper, he's now calling the
play calling,
effing soft or whatever the team. And then he's calling out the coaches saying that the coaches have asked him what plays he wants to run. And I'm thinking, really? They're asking this young kid what plays he wants to run? Man.
Yeah, it's that wouldn't happen years ago.
Yeah.
Oh, I know. They're all, and we spoke about this. Every player, NHL, NFL, they're kind of their own franchise.
Yeah. And they've got so many people around them that, and again, I'm sure they care about that person. Maybe they don't. Maybe it's just all business. But they're only concerned with that one person. So when they're talking to that player, they're talking to that person. They're not saying what's right for the team. That's not their role. It's what's.
Well, what I think is a current, like with the Jets and the Giants both, it's hard to win, but it's real easy to learn how to lose.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, that's saying I've turned into a huge fan of the Detroit Lions. Follow them, and they if you watch the videos in the draft and everything about them, they really went out of the way to like they talk about it. Say, listen, this is a family. Like it's almost like a cult there. And they said it may not be for everybody. So if you want to come and be part of this family, which I thought was, I mean, you work for Lou Lamoriello was the same way there in New Jersey when he
runs a tight ship. You know what it is, and we were just talking about like. If you were to ask me what is the Rangers' character or what's their culture, tough. It's arguably the toughest place to play.
Because
of all the distractions.
Yeah, I hear that sometimes. Although, like I'm thinking, okay, if you go to Detroit or you go to St. Louis, I mean, you're still in some ways. If you go to a smaller city, you're a bigger deal in that city. Like in New York,
good point.
Right? For me, I mean, Ron Duguay is different. He couldn't walk down the streets of Manhattan,
right?
Where I could. Yeah. So.
I think again, it gets back to the whole character of the team, and it's who you put in that room, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can't put the best players in the world in a room without having some guys in there that are going to kind of, help coach, so to speak, help manage.
Do you guys fry? I do not.
No.
Yeah,
it does look dangerous.
Apparently, it is very dangerous. If you try to put a frozen turkey in, then I think the water content makes that the oil. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So Giants. So Daniel Jones at 4:00 today will be able to sign with some other team. Any prediction where he signs? Let's hear it right now.
I don't have a prediction, but I tell you, I thought they should have just traded Aaron Rodgers for Daniel Jones. They let walk across the hallway there. I mean,
Aaron Rodgers is such a self-promoter. And so now he's saying that he's hurt, but he won't get MRIs because he doesn't want to know what the injuries are.
Oh, such a man.
God. That's just
yeah.
That's so phony. I mean,
it's all about me.
Yeah. And in the meantime, you know what? He's one of those guys. In the meantime, he's been MVP. He's won his Super Bowls. And when the game's done, because of this image he's built for himself, he'll do very well after the game because what he said.
So I was thinking about you the other day because, I'm a big golf fan. And they had this thing called Match Play. It was like over the weekend. So it was like Mark Wahlberg and
I saw videos of
that. So Charles Barkley's hysterical.
Yeah.
And then somebody said something, he goes, somebody said to him, there's no I in team. He goes, yeah, but there's an M and an E.
That's very nice.
And by the way, Gretzky, man, he's good with his chirps.
Oh, yeah. No, he's
really good with his I mean, he just kept going and going and going, just rolling them out.
Yeah. No, he's good. That's the thing I didn't realize when he came to the Kings and I was there, because I thought I was the king of the locker room, right? I owned the locker room. So I started giving it to him, and he gave it back to me pretty good, like to the point where I better keep my mouth shut. Yeah.
Oh, he was good because he was ripping on Charles. It was pretty amusing.
Yeah, he's good.
But it was also good to see that I'm not the only one on the planet that sucks at golf.
Oh God, that's a terrible sport. All right. Anything else? Is sports you don't want to go? Oh, sad story we both saw in the New York Post today. This 2-year supposedly, we hope this is all true. Well,
it is true. Yeah.
Right. This 2-year-old girl was crossing the border into the U.S. looking for her parents. She had a handwritten note, I guess, with their phone number and names, whatever, trying to get a hold of her parents. Like, how does a 2-year-old girl try to enter the country? That's a sad.
Well, this is something you and I spoke about the other day. There's somewhere between 300,000 and 400,000 unaccompanied minors that have crossed the border since the Biden-Harris administration took over the policy or lack of policy, whatever you want to call it, up to that point. So if I'm an adult male and I have a kid with me, they do a quick saliva swab to see if there's to make sure DNA matches. Mm-hmm. If I say I'm her father or I'm her uncle, I'm her brother, whatever. They're not doing that anymore.
Wow.
And what they do is they say, call this number in 30 days and give us an update on how things are going.
Yeah.
And now it turns out, to no one's surprise, that there are children, unaccompanied minors that they're finding in Florida, Miami area, as young as 8 years old with sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah, I saw that.
So
they know this is going on. I just like what you wonder to yourself, they're human beings. I know we can believe they're bad people, good people, whatever. And they just allow that to happen. That's the part I don't get. It's not like it's like 8 or 10 kids, which is still bad. You're talking hundreds of thousands of kids, and they know this is going on, and it's just like,
it's really upsetting because they know. If I know it, you know it, they know it.
Yeah,
and they've known it all along.
Yeah.
And think of the sheer terror, the sheer horror these kids are going through.
I know,
right? And the politics behind it. Every time. They refer to the Trump administration. So it's, he put kids in cages. First of all, that was something Obama started, that policy. I don't want to get too deep into the weeds here, but I'm going to call it for what it is. You got to call balls and strikes sometimes, because if you don't, you're living in a fantasy world. And that's exactly what happened there. And again, once they did away with the swab, it's big money for the cartels, and it's a horror. It's unfathomable.
Well, and people, want to blame Obama or Biden or Trump or whatever about separating the kids from the family if they enter illegally. And our boy, what is it? Who's the guy that's the new head of the?
Well, it's Mayorkas.
Who's the new guy that Trump's got?
No, Tom Homan.
Homan. Yeah. And he said very clearly, listen, first of all, I'm with you. And he talked about how he tried to save this 5-year-old boy in the back of a trailer. He had his own 5-year-old son. He said, I don't want to do this, but these people are making the decision to enter the country illegally. And like in any other case, like he used the example, if I'm driving down the road and I've got my son in the back seat and I'm drinking and driving, if I get arrested, they separate me from my son. That's that's the way the law works. And again, it's like sending the message to listen. This is the United States of America. If you want to come to the U.S., this is what we're founded on, right?
Yeah.
That's your liberty, Ellis Island, all that stuff. But do it legally. Just come in, apply for asylum, or if you get a work visa, student visa, whatever it is, and come to the country.
Well, I think overriding. So there are two things, and we talked about this, but that propelled Trump to be reelected again.
Yeah.
The economy, or I should say inflation, which is real, and then this situation with the border, because now you have major cities. New York City. There was a big article yesterday about how there's literally thousands of criminals wandering the streets.
Yeah.
The Trendiagua is a really particularly violent, nasty business. We have enough gangs here. We don't need to import them from Venezuela.
And I'm not saying you're wrong about the economy and the border being the main reasons Trump got elected, but I think it's also people are just fed up, right? The same old nonsense all the time. As much as Trump can be this bombastic jerkwad, sometimes at least he's a bombastic jerkwad to your face.
Well, the thing about
hold on. He says it to your face, so you know exactly what you're getting. He doesn't waffle on the abortion issue. You don't have to be. It's very clear. I'm getting rid of abortion. He doesn't agree with it. So even if you don't agree with him, you say to yourself, well, he's not lying to me. I mean, he's telling me. Why would he? Yeah.
He's not getting he's saying it's a state by state issue on abortion, and that's that's a very difficult conversation to have with a lot of people, and I understand it. But the thing, with Trump, everybody's getting freaked out about the cabinet. If they're not doing their job, he's going to get rid of them. And they're saying, oh, he's only choosing because they're loyalists. Well, yeah, I mean, you want somebody loyal to you. I mean, I would say that Mayorkas has been pretty loyal to Biden and the rest of the administration. I mean,
Go ahead.
No, but but the difference with Trump is if you're not doing your job, you're fired. It's just that simple.
Where was I reading it today? I think it was in the Post. They're talking about how the Secretary of State or whatever it is. One guy, the guy that goes over to Europe and all those places.
Secretary of State, which is Marco Rubio.
Yes. Was it Rubio?
Rubio.
The current one, though.
Well, the current Anthony Blinken. Yeah.
Yes, Blinken. Yeah. So they were questioning him because they had sensitivity meetings because people were upset that Trump got voted in. So the people that so they have the democratic process. The people have spoken. You work for the people. They have chosen Trump to be the president. So now they have to have sensitivity meetings for them. Oh my God!
Part of the problem I think we have are term limits and lifetime appointments.
Oh yeah.
So Biden put up a federal judge that would be it's a lifetime position, and this particular individual, in my view, shouldn't be in that position because in his term being a judge over whatever amount of years it was, 20 years or something, he was really soft on sexual predators as it relates to minors. So I don't want that guy in there.
Right.
So when they held the vote in the Senate to confirm or not confirm him, Democrats had 49 votes, Republicans had 45. But there were 5 Republicans who didn't vote. If they had that 5, it would have been 50-49. He would not have been confirmed. So it goes deeper than just electing your president. You got to make sure if your beliefs are in a certain direction, you got to look down ballot and make sure that you're getting the people in that are going to.
My new favorite show to watch is the View, classic stuff. Oh,
do you think it's real? I think it's an act.
Well, I'm sure they're aware that the more bombastic things they say, the better for ratings, right? Yeah. And even lately they've been fighting with each other. Yeah. Which is now makes headlines on all the newspapers. So everybody's probably saying, "Oh, I got to go watch this show." They're smart. They know what they're doing. Yeah.
It's like New Jersey Housewives.
Yeah.
All scripted. I don't know if it's all scripted, but I mean, I do believe they're very liberal, they're progressive. There's no doubt. Yeah. But I mean, they take it to the nth degree.
That's the thing that I think is amazing. So, like, other than I guess Fox, right? Mm-hmm. It seems like all the rest of the media is very liberal. Now, it seems like even like 10, 15 years ago, clearly CNN was pushing more towards the liberal side, but it didn't seem like it was so obvious. Now it's not even they don't even try to hide it. It's just,
And so it gets back to, again, what do we get outraged about? So everybody's all nervous in the service because Pete Hegseth had an NDA or whatever, some kind of settlement with a woman. There was some kind of sexual activity. I don't know what it was. It wasn't criminally charged. He was, none of this. So I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. So immediately the left is saying, well, that disqualifies him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But you're okay with 300,000 children missing.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, and isn't the story that he was with some man and his wife and it was consensual? It was consensual that she comes back to the room. Then I guess she was drinking or whatever, and now she wants to.
Tom, it's just like an NHL player being in a bar, chatting it up with a husband and wife, and things are a little crazy.
That's another issue. I tell you, like swapping wives or like the whole sharing wives thing and everything. Some guys
you get a scouting report though. I mean,
some guys really get into that, right? Where they let another guy have sex with their wife.
But wouldn't you want a scouting report like before you make a trade?
Well, yeah, absolutely. We'll make sure what you're getting in the deal. That's right. You need an agent to come in and negotiate on your behalf. Yeah, that's what we can do. We can negotiate those kind of deals. But like, how about the guys though? What is it? I should be careful my terminology. Cock blocking, is that what it is? Where the guy actually lets somebody else have sex with?
Oh no, it's another term. But
no.
Yeah, I mean, look.
No. That is no. You're right. It is not cock. It's not cock.
Come here and cook.
Yeah.
CUCK. Look, each their own.
Cock hold. Yes.
Yeah, each their own. Do your thing. Just don't hurt anybody, and don't touch a child because I'll slit your throat and finish my sandwich.
But the whole logic though. So I've got this wife that I love very much. I've chosen to marry her, kids, whatever it is. But honey, let's go tomorrow night and let's pick up another guy that you can have sex with. I mean, I just don't.
I don't. I don't know.
So I won't. Obviously, I will not mention the names, but I think I've told the story before. But there's a few NHL players that are this kind of stuff. But there's the one
RP,
and a fantastic guy too.
Yeah.
And it's hilarious. And you meet his wife, she's like the soccer mom, like cute and sweet and the whole bit. But there's a funny story, and I'm not going to mention teams really. So a young player who, like 18-year-old kid from Western Canada, who didn't know, probably had sex before, but didn't know too much. So he comes into training camp and they have a team party. And the husband and wife's he thinks they're being nice. They're saying, listen, if you've got no place to stay, just come back to our place. You stay there, and my husband will give you a ride to practice in the morning. So he goes back to the place, and the husband, his teammate, brings the wife down and starts having sex with her. Like she's bent over the couch, and this kid's sleeping on the couch. And I tell you, I know the guy and I've met him, and he's told me the story, the guy, the husband himself.
Yeah.
And I'd heard the story before. So when he told me, it was hilarious the way he told it. And it was their lifestyle was wide open that way. And but imagine the poor kid now. It was funny because he had to get in the car in the morning with the player. And the player was a tough guy. And the tough guy turns to me and goes, what are you doing? I want you to have sex with my wife. And the kid's looking at him like, what? Oh, God, hilarious. Funny stuff. That's a fun note. What else are we going to talk to? Something else on Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
Matt Gaetz. So my theory is he was in trouble. He was a big supporter, did a lot of things for Trump. He was about to get that, a report was about to come out for his sexual misconduct or whatever it is. So Trump makes the appointment. He then immediately retires from the Senate, right? He was in the Senate, Congress. And so now they can't do anything to him because he's not part of the Congress anymore. And so Trump saves him. And then the guy resigns or pulls out his nomination. And then like 2 hours later, Trump has another appointment ready to go. Yeah. Now, in fairness, if a Democrat did that, we would go, come on, that's kind of shady. Now, no harm, no foul. I guess it really doesn't hurt anybody. But don't you think that's clearly what he did?
I'm going to take a counter position.
Okay.
I'm going to say his pulling out had nothing to do with the sexual misconduct allegations.
Well,
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because again, Trump is not a stupid man. He would have fully vetted this guy. I mean, this is the attorney general. We're not saying you're going to take you're going to be my
bus driver,
lawn maintenance dude. Your attorney general. I'm sure they vetted him to make sure that any allegations were false. Right. In fact, I heard they were from a councilwoman local in Florida or a state Senate person or something. They had beef, and but whatever the case may be, I think it was a head fake by Trump because he really wanted Pam Bondi from the beginning, and that they had this thing coordinated where he denounced Gates. It's like throwing a hand grenade, and everybody just went nuts. And then he resigns, and then Bondi gets in. And now the complaint.
What do you mean? Because he was so bad, everybody said, "Well, Bondi's got to be better than he was."
Yeah, it would make her an easier person to get confirmed, and she should be confirmed because she's incredibly qualified for the position. She's, she is who she is. She's a Trump supporter, but this is what the country voted for, and the media just doesn't get it. They're just not understanding. Hey guys, you guys lost. If Trump doesn't do a great job, you're going to win again. But right now, you guys lost. The game's over.
But okay, so with Gates, though, all right. So if he didn't do anything wrong, he had the option to now go back into politics. But now
he's going to be the senator.
But now he's saying he's not going to go.
He's going to be the senator from Florida because Marco Rubio will be confirmed as Secretary of State, and Gates will move in to be the senator, which is a much more. There's only 2 senators per state, so it's a much higher.
Florida.
Yeah, yeah. So he'll replace Marco Rubio.
Is this fact? This is your speculation, or is this fact?
No, speculation, but it's based upon what I've read and heard, and it kind of makes sense because somebody has to replace Marco Rubio,
right?
And then it'll be Gates. And
okay, doesn't he have to go through a confirmation process?
No, not for Senate.
That's an election. That's an elected official.
Yeah, it's an elected official, and he can be named by the governor of Florida to replace the senator. Happens all the time. We saw it here with Bob Menendez. They named Andy Kim interim senator, and then he had to run again. But
it's an interim basis. Okay.
So it's the same like Kathy Hochul became governor when Cuomo dropped out. Pulled out, dropped out.
Is that the nipple guy? Like the nipple rings?
This is what I mean.
Well, here's the thing, too. You know what I get a kick out of now that I'm paying more attention to politics is the outrage. Like when a politician gets caught doing something wrong, everybody's like, "Oh my God, the outrage!" I'm thinking, like, are you kidding me? Like, you're not paying attention. They're all scumbags.
Yeah. Hollywood, Washington, not a big difference.
And athletes the same way. Goes on. Yeah.
Men are pigs.
I know. Like who's it? Who's the head of WWE? Or
Vince McMahon.
No, then I'm thinking the wrong. The kickboxing.
Dana White.
Dana White. So he was quoted as saying, "I will never get involved in politics again. It's gross. I want nothing to do with it."
Right.
Like that's like a real man who's got it more of a closer look at it and said, "These people are just disgusting." Like the whole process is disgusting. The whole everything.
Ever hear him speak on hockey?
Yes. Yeah. He's a big supporter. Like he's
it's right. I mean,
I guess I never looked at it that way, but I guess I
always tell people first you got to learn to skate.
Yeah,
like a figure skate level. Then we're going to give you something this big and a slung stick. You're going to have to stick handle and shoot, and then we're going to come running at you elbow high.
Well, I guess as you're the same way. I guess I just grew up skating, so when I hear people say that all the time, it's like, okay, well, it's not that big a deal. But for somebody that hasn't skated, yeah.
Well, so I always tell people. So in baseball, if you hit the ball, I mean, everybody can run. Some are faster, some are slow, but everybody can run. Yeah. It's not a skill set that takes you literally I mean, as you know, guys in the NHL still work with a power skating coach all summer. Right?
Yeah.
That have been in the league 15 years. Yeah.
Funny stuff. Who's your surprise team in a good way in the National Hockey League this year?
Well, Utah's got off to a surprising start, I think. Kind of playing well for what they have. The Capitals are playing much better than I thought they would.
Yes, that's a good one. I like that pick. That's a good one. And even now they're still winning when Ovechkin's out for a while too. So they're still winning.
Disappointments would probably, you would think Boston maybe would be playing better.
The other one's Nashville too. I like Barry Trotz came in and took over. Great man. He's the GM there now, head coach there for many years. Mm-hmm. But like the whole thing with Stamkos and everything really hasn't.
The stat on Zibanejad was something like 99 games, only I think less than 10 5-on-5 goals. But the same thing with Marchessault, Stamkos right now, and there's another one though. But I mean, so it's kind of like I think the National League is starting to really rely on the power play too much for goal production.
Yeah.
I'd be interested to see what
I saw something online the other day, or no, it was today. So Boston fired Montgomery, the coach. He was then hired 5 days later by St. Louis and given like a 5-year contract too.
Yeah,
there was a stats. They had him. He was 5 days. Cassidy in Vegas was hired like in 7 days.
Yeah.
So all these coaches that get fired from Boston get picked up right away. Now, we'll see. I just don't like Montgomery at all. I don't think he's a good coach.
Me neither. I don't like, he had history in St. Louis, bad history.
Yeah.
Or no,
Dallas.
Yeah.
So I mean, it was publicized, but I mean, he had a drinking problem, I think, right? But apparently, he's cleaned that all up now. But I just, what happens? I guess all sports are like this, where, and this is good and bad. A coach will get a reputation as being a good coach. Mm-hmm. Well, and okay, so how do you determine that? Like, especially if a coach had, like, again, go back to Barry Trotz. He was in Nashville as a coach for like 16 years, never won anything. And again, he's a fantastic person, but everybody talked about what a great coach he was. Now, he then went to Washington, right? And won a cup there. Is that where he won? Yeah. So, I mean, and the same thing, somebody could be a bad coach too. It's like Daniel Jones is the same thing with me. Like, I really hope he goes someplace else, not to spite the Giants, but I hope he goes someplace else and really, like, I think he can be a real good player. It's just, I think they've screwed up with him so much. It's just.
What do you think about how much do you think that big money contracts affect a guy?
Well, I think in him, I don't think it affected him as much. I think, and that's a great question, I think it more affected the way other people looked at him. Mm-hmm. That because we tend to, hold on, I guess see Danny Erickson here. I like the subject we're getting onto here. I like this topic. How come people are treating the Rangers lost to those? Oh, I know. Yeah, I do think, Danny, what it is more the way they're playing.
Yeah.
And too much relying on the goaltending. And again, they know from history that they just have to get in the playoffs. They don't have to win the President's Trophy everywhere. So, but here's, like, you talked about Daniel Jones with the contract. So what happens is sometimes, especially in the city where they are playing, guys like you and I, we watch the games all the time. So it's easy to pick apart the negative stuff, right? Mm-hmm. As opposed, like, I like to say, okay, what are the positive things about Daniel Jones? He's big. Would you want to, like, if you had to build a quarterback physically, he's big, he can run, he can throw the ball. So those are all positive things. Apparently, great character guy, franchise guy. You'd love to have him on your team. So a lot of positive stuff. Negative is, I think he's just like, he's too nice of a kid. Like, he needs to be a jerkwad. Like, he needs to be like, who's playing for Tampa yesterday?
Yeah. Give it to DeVito.
Yeah. He needs to have more. It's just not who he is, though. Baker Mayfield. Yeah. So I think but isn't that true though? Like I think to myself, one of the most famous plays for Daniel Jones, maybe it was his rookie year, broke out, was running down the field, nobody around him, and he fell down. So everybody sees the falling down, sees the negative. They don't want to look at, okay, how did he get there? Here's this guy that's 6'5". There's nobody around. He took off away from everybody. Like, and so to me, I look at the positive. Like, okay, yeah, he fell down. No, it's not good. But he's such a talented athlete. So
everybody makes mistakes. I mean,
Jim
Marshall on the Minnesota Vikings decades ago intercepted a pass and ran and rolled.
Yeah. And who's the guy, Leon Lett for the Cowboys?
Yeah, he was the Super Bowl, wasn't it?
Yeah, he went to run it. What did he do? Did he run the wrong way, or did he?
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah. Or no, he took his time running into the end zone, and some guy caught him from behind.
Yeah, where was at it? Yeah. And a lot of guys spiked the ball too early.
I know. Yeah. It was the rookie on the Jets did that, or maybe it was the Giants. I can't remember. Did that recently too. Yeah. Who we got here? Danny. Is Country Miller? Yeah. You know what? I think he is. And that, like, it's one of those, we've talked about this before. It's tough in hockey, right? Because you want, like, you'd love to say, listen, I want that guy to come home and marry my daughter, but that doesn't win hockey games. No. It's just, yeah.
You want a guy that's going to be bleeding a little bit and have a snot bubble.
And has no problem, like, cross-checking some guy in the teeth, right? I mean, yeah.
Riley Smith. Not a top six guy.
Yeah, I know. And I thought he kind of could be too. That was kind of disappointing. Yeah.
I never thought he was.
Yeah. And then, there's all the stuff. I mean, I wonder how I guess like Trouba's playing a lot. He's getting minutes.
I
Like
have no problem with Trouba.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with Miller. I just think he's behind the learning curve, and you can't learn at that level.
Yeah, he's just. We've talked about it too. Like I wish, for example, like to me, I've watched him a few times when people come at him to hit him, he moves out of the way.
Yeah.
I would rather he gets his hands on his sticks, gets it in tight so the referee can't see the cross check, but just kind of jams the stick right in the guy's forearms, right? They've got their short little gloves on now, jamming the forearms. Not a big deal. But now that guy that keeps coming at him is going, oh, God, I'm going to get smacked in the forearm.
Every time.
Yeah. It would make it so much easier on him, too, because people wouldn't take runs at him all the time, too. So, But that is, it's like Daniel Jones, Keanu Miller, same way. They are who they are as personalities.
Right.
Can't really.
Sometimes a guy like that, if they moved him, it could be a big help for him to get out of New York.
Totally. Yeah, people have said that too. Like you mentioned before about distractions and everything. I guess for me it was different because I was that defensive player. Like I wasn't walking out of Madison Square Garden and people going nuts like with Ron Duguay. So it really wasn't that big of a deal. And then I got traded to LA too. And people said the same thing. We can't play hockey in LA. There's too much going on. Kimmy was the best place in the world to play after New York. It was it's fantastic.
Well, that's why you got to get the right room. I mean, there's guys like Doogie that can handle that attention and still perform.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect their game. It actually can strengthen their game,
Dukes is a funny guy. And I seriously, he was a great teammate, but he was one of those guys who was just in his own planet. Like he was, and I mean, it's weird to say that because he was such a good teammate, but he was so unaware of what else was going on. Like James Patrick tells a story that James was in Winnipeg coaching the junior team. There's some charity game going on or whatever. And he saw Dukes in the airport. Dukes had the fur coat on the whole bit. So James went up to him. They played together for, probably 3 or 4 years. And so James went up to him to say hello. And Dukes had no clue who he was. Like James knew. And even when James said to him, listen, Dukes, it's James Patrick. Dukes was just like, okay. And
and I know you're from where?
Exactly. We did it was a couple of times we did some event someplace, and Dukes was introducing everybody. And he introduced here's Tommy. He was a gentlemanly player. Like it's like kind of saying like you're soft. I'm going like
what does that mean? Yeah.
I know. He then it was funny. We were doing, I think it was like opening night, and they had like the blue carpet thing, where they have the ceremonies outside the garden. And Dukes and Gresh and I were up on stage, and Dukes asked us a question. So partway, it was either Gresh or I answering the question. Partway through the answer, Dukes interrupted and started answering his own question. He's a funny guy.
Where is he now? Florida? Where's he living?
Yeah, he's doing the Panhandle someplace. Sarasota, is that in the Panhandle? I know.
Yeah.
You notice my terminology there, the Panhandle? Like, yeah.
Swings into Texas that way.
Yeah. Oh, here's another one I saw, and you would probably know this guy too. This guy, I don't know if he's a geologist or the planet, like one of these really smart guys. And he was talking about how Antarctica. So Antarctica really wasn't discovered, he was saying, until 1820. That's when they really discovered it was there. But these old maps going back like thousands of years have Antarctica on there. Yeah. So it was really interesting concept, like, assuming all the stuff he was showing was true. But it was like, okay, so obviously there's some other human life here before we were here. Like there's humans here, something happened. Like even with said Joe Rogan was saying this too, like the pyramids. How do you justify the pyramids? Like,
well, even if you've seen photographs of South America, in I think Peru, looks like landing strips for an airport.
Right.
What are they for?
I know. And the whole thing that you're saying with the pyramids, like these blocks in some cases are like anywhere from 2 to 10 tons.
We wouldn't know how to do it.
Yeah. And they're so precise. Mm-hmm. Like if one stone's out of place, if you look at it, it's like this perfect pyramid, and they're lined north and south and east and west and all that.
Maybe, there's some truth to that whole Mork and Mindy thing.
No, I know who Mork and Mindy is, but what is the truth behind Mork and Mindy?
Well, there's aliens. There's been aliens here.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Because we don't have the technology to explain away a lot of this stuff.
But also, like there was a couple of years ago, they was doing some videos showing the Hudson River, and there's this blue dot. Did you see this?
Yeah.
And they can't. but it wasn't recent, right? Wasn't this a picture that was taken a few years ago?
So John Lennon said he saw one. It's in
Oh.
today's paper. But there was one the other day. It was on like the Channel 5. They were doing the weather. You know how they put up a picture of the city, and you see this orb go flying across.
Right, but it was from an old picture, though, not like really old, but like a couple of years ago. Was it just like the other day?
Well, they just had another one just occur.
Oh,
yeah.
So here's my big thing too. So they say that, well, they don't know if it's a UFO or not. Well, so the definition of a UFO is unidentified. Right. So you can't identify it and it's flying. It's a UFO, right?
Yeah. Problem is they're in search of intelligent life, so that's what I just.
I know, God, yeah,
idiots.
Jackie Smith dropping the ball. Oh yeah, remember the guy with the Cowboys? Really like an older player.
Oh yeah,
like the guy in the Super Bowl.
He was a tight end, big tight
end.
And
it was such a sad thing too, because everybody was talking about what a great guy he was. Probably the end of his career, last game.
Yeah.
Who's this is awful. The black gentleman, really intelligent guy, scientist.
Neil.
Harrison or something. Yeah.
No, Tyson DeGrace.
Yeah. He gets really. I like how he like talks about stuff that just we all should know, but we just don't pay attention to. Like the sun really doesn't rise or set, right? No. The sun stays in the same place. Yeah. But when he's talking about it at first, you go, yeah, it rises and sets, and then he says, no, it doesn't. It's our perspective, right? It's our view of the sun that changes.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the tides going in and out. Are you aware of this stuff? I didn't know this. So
the gravity from the moon.
Yeah. So the gravitational pull causes the oceans to move. No, they stay in one spot. It's the
shift.
It's the Earth spinning inside the oceans.
Under the water kind of thing. Yeah.
Well, it's no. So there's two on each end of the Earth. There's these two bulges in the ocean, and the Earth spins through the bulges. So at some point, it's closer to the so that's low tide, and then now it's in the middle of the bulge, it's higher tide because the water is more water. I never really thought of it that way, but yeah.
It proves the Earth it's not flat.
Yes, yeah. But I tell you, there's some people that they try hard to come up with a good argument why it's flat, right? Well, I get everybody thinks their own things, yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah. Magical creature here, Deb. Mine are shaking.
Good morning, Miss Deb.
What else we got here? Archaeologists recently unearthed hair belonging to. You know what, Danny? Sometimes you're just awful, but that was a good one.
That was a good one.
Here's our boy, our veteran out in beautiful Chicago.
Good morning, William.
Everybody paints every men and women paint their fingernails with nail polish.
Well, how'd they do yesterday, the Bears? Did they play?
They lost late in the game too. I think they did. They came back against was it Denver, I think, or somebody, and then lost late. I think that's how it was. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Deborah Harry said the tide is high.
It's a song.
Was it? What song was that?
I don't know, but I'm assuming that's what it is.
Yeah. Deborah Harry. Did you think she was hot back then? Like, wasn't she like the blonde haired thing?
Yeah.
Wouldn't she look like she was always stoned or something too, though?
Like kind of punk rocker, I guess. A bit there. Yeah. Right. She's from Jersey. I think she's from Union City.
She's a Jersey girl, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. So we got in Jersey, like there's Bruce Springsteen, Frank Sinatra, right?
I like Frank, not Bruce.
I know. His politics, too.
I don't care about the politics. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I'm just not a big fan of his music.
Oh, really? You don't like his stuff? Oh, okay.
It's all right.
Our boy, Mr. Chicago here, said they lost to Minnesota. That's right.
Oh, Sam Darnold.
I know.
The guy that the Jets gave up on.
I know. Look at all the quarterbacks. Like Geno Smith, Sam Darnold, now it's Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
What was the other guy? The guy was the Jet, the kind of cocky guy just last year. They got rid of him. He's
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson.
Yeah.
Where's he now? I can't remember where he is.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, okay, let's do this right now. So I know it's like just over halfway through the season. Who's your prediction to win the Super Bowl? Oh, hold on. Who are the two teams that are going to be in the Super Bowl?
You'd have to figure Detroit and I'm going to say Kansas City again. Right?
I know. The only thing is, like, Buffalo could buy, like, you know.
Well, Buffalo, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, San Francisco, they're not doing
no. Yeah. See, I think that'd be a great place for Daniel Jones to go.
Yeah.
Go to San Francisco. Because if they can get their act together, they can do well in the playoffs. They just they got that. So what's his name? Brock Purdy's hurt, right? He was hurt. Yeah. Bears are lost. Are the Bears lost? Yeah. That whole thing, but I guess it's easy to say now. But especially I think in football where the quarterbacks have to learn all the plays and all kinds of stuff, to ask a rookie to come in and be successful, like all that, like even Patrick Mahomes. I mean, didn't he sit for a year or two?
Yeah.
Very rarely. I mean, Aaron Rodgers did the same thing behind Brett Favre. So
yeah. Chicago. I mean, since Jim McMahon, they really haven't had a quarterback to speak of.
Yeah, that's right too. Who they have? Who like Jake Cutler, right? Wasn't he Mr. Sleep?
The snake. Yeah, he was all right.
He was sleepy too. He gets some beautiful women though. God, he just got remarried or something recently too.
That part of his game is still strong.
Who's Jimmy Garoppolo? I mean, that could be the best looking man in all of pro sports in the history of sports. Yeah. Oh God, he is scary looking. Yeah. Like that's. I would not want my wife or girlfriend around him. That'd be that. No. God. Yeah. Well, let's see his parents. Would it be something like if his parents are really ugly?
You can't tell. I mean, I have good looking kids, so there you go. You can't tell. Well, sometimes they come out way much better than they should.
This is was there ever a time when if your kids acted a certain way, you think to yourself, is this kid really mine? Like, was my wife cheating on me or something like that?
No, because they did all the same thing I did. So
yeah, good point. Yeah. I'm sure you're the same way. We talked so many times about our kids. My oldest son and his wife stopped by yesterday or on the weekend, and I had this old TV. I could care less, and they were just, that wasn't going to say. So they didn't tell me. They went to Costco about this big 65-inch TV, brought it over, and I was like,
that's awesome.
Oh yeah, you love it, but then you feel bad. Like, you and I feel the same way. My view is, listen, as a father, as a man, your job is to raise them, get them to a certain point, and then get the heck out of the way. Let them go live their lives.
Yeah.
So when they come over and do that stuff, it's like, it's great. You love it, but it's like, you're not supposed to be doing it.
Yeah, I tell you, sometimes the roles get reversed, and I'm not comfortable with it, but
I know.
Yeah. I still get advice, unsolicited advice, and it's always right, and I'm wrong.
What's that? Say that again?
Well, sometimes, I think I tell you the story. One of my guys had a fight, and he got knocked out in the first round.
Right.
Pro fight. Not knocked out. He got stopped. TKO. And Sean, my oldest son, he was working the corner. He got his professional corners license, and we worked together for the fight. So Sean, myself, and my cut man, Lenny. So now the kid, they stopped the fight. I'm in the ring. I'm taking my fighter's gloves off. And the first two rows start chirping, and I'm like this. And my son Sean's like, Dad, relax. So the roles have been reversed.
I know. Yeah. Let me see here. Gary Risling. Did you remember Gary Risling?
Yeah, that's a very famous picture. He didn't really look like that bad. Yeah. The way the camera, and it's a black and white photo, which is even better. The way it hit him, he did look scary.
Yeah, see, I don't remember him as scary looking. He's just
that one photo.
He's just an ugly man. There's just no way you can't. Yeah. There's no diplomatic way of cutting it.
The doctor slapped his mother when he was born.
Oh, but I tell you, what a good guy though too. I think I told you the story. He was in Pittsburgh, and he was staying because he was up and down. He was staying in the same hotel we were staying in, and it was so we would just walk to the hotel. There's no bus. It was right across the street from the rink. So after the game one night, and we'd gone at it like, F you Laidlaw, F you ugly bastard. So we happened to be walking out of the rink at the same time. So we walked over together, and we'd both played long enough. We're like, hey, how you doing? Nice to meet you. And we chatted for 5 minutes walking over. Great guy. But the good thing was, next game we were back at it, punched each other.
Oh, yeah.
But a really good guy. It was like you could tell he was like most guys.
Well, the game's a game, and then after that, it's different. Most cases.
Jim McMahon was awesome, but injury prone. Yeah. Didn't he wear like he got poked in the eye or something? Didn't he wear that?
No, he's got so many concussions. He's really sensitive to light. That's why he wears those shades. Yeah, he's bad off. Poor guy. That was a fun team. The Fridge.
Yeah.
Him, Mike Singletary. William could probably name off more play, but they were a badass team.
Who was the defensive coach there that got famous too?
It was Buddy Ryan.
Buddy Ryan, yes. Yeah. He was famous as the players. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maverick, my son's dog, he's doing good. Comes over just like grandpa. He knows where the treats are. And they're like, don't give him any more. Of course, I just keep giving him treats. And,
keep feeding him.
And he knows it too. Like he come over, he just doesn't pay attention. He comes over to me, starts whining. He knows that grandpa's going to take care of him. So it's Yeah, it's not as much of a whine. It's more of a notification. Hey, Grandpa, let's go.
Let's get them.
Yeah. Let me see here. I get the "Hey, Dad" phone calls quite a bit. Kids may say, yeah. But isn't that true, William? Don't you think it's the same thing? Like I'm talking to this, my youngest one, Cody. We had talked to each other for like, I had seen each other for like since Father's Day, and I just think no big deal. We love each other. We have a fantastic relationship. He's got his life to live, and
they got to live their own life.
Yeah. It is sometimes like get around the holidays. You kind of like at first you go, oh God, but then you think, you know what though? That's Dad's. That's the role. You move on, get out of the way. Yeah. Now you're going to your brother-in-law's, right? Is that where you're going?
Mm-hmm.
Turkey. What do they do?
Yeah, turkey, the usual stuffing, everything like that.
Now, do they actually stuff the bird, or do they do it on the side?
They stuff the bird and then they take it out, and
Right. Yeah. Well, yeah, you can't eat it right out of the turkey. I mean,
well, you can, but
you could, yeah.
People frown upon it.
Well, because a lot of people don't call it stuffing anymore; they call it dressing because they don't stuff
the
bird anymore. Do you butter up? Like, do some people put like butter in between the skin and they shove the butter?
I don't do the turkey. Beth's brother makes the turkey. Beth makes all the side stuff here. I'm in charge of the green beans and almonds.
Oh, green beans and almonds.
Oh man, because I can really flip. Like I got that eye hand thing going.
Well, so
what do
you flip? You're sauteing them in the pan?
Yeah, and you put some almonds and some olive oil and just keep flipping it. And
So do you like? Do they split almonds or the full almonds? Like,
they're cut. Yeah, shaved.
Right,
shaved almonds. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever had that with the almonds.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah.
And at the end you drizzle a little balsamic on top of it.
Oh, I don't know if I've had that. I love my balsamic, even the smell of balsamic and everything. Oh, yeah. One of my favorite foods, get a little mozzarella, some cherry tomatoes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, drizzle some balsamic, a little bit of oil, salt, and pepper. Oh,
huge in an Italian household. Yeah.
What is it?
That's a common thing in an Italian household.
What? Why do you see those recipes are freshly ground pepper? Like, is freshly ground pepper different than regular pepper?
It's just when you got to shake, you crack it.
It looks better.
Yeah, well, it's fresher. I mean, that's all it is.
Yeah, but I mean, what is it like? Does it go bad?
The mustard seeds, and you're breaking them up.
Yeah, but what does it taste different because it's freshly ground?
Yeah, it's probably a little stronger.
You're full.
And actually, white pepper is actually stronger than black pepper.
Hold on. We need to debate this. This whole ground thing. But why don't we ground salt then? I mean, you can, but
yeah. Well, I have a salt. I grind it because I get the crystal, the sea salt, and you grind it.
Yeah, but
the peppers, I think
everybody in the recipe is always saying you got to grind, freshly ground pepper.
Yeah, because the other kind, it's how long has it been sitting there? This is fresh.
But it's going to go bad. I mean, like
you may lose a little bit.
Nobody grinds you up. You're not going bad.
I just get up. I go.
Yeah. I don't know what.
Actually, no. Some people grind me up.
Oh, I know. That's true. But I just out of spite, when at Costco, I got the.
That's okay.
Yeah. It's good. I'm not grinding it.
Hey, you got to live your life the way you want to live it.
Yeah, good point.
You don't want to grind your pepper.
Yeah, good point. I remember watching Gary Rising when he played for the Baltimore Skipjacks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tell you, he's one of those guys. He had no business being in the NHL based on talent. It was all heart. Yeah, just a huge heart.
He spent a lot of time in Washington, didn't he?
Washington, Pittsburgh. Yep. Never had it fried. It seems that's a new thing. Fried turkey.
Yeah, I've had it. It's all right.
Or is he talking about fried pepper?
No, fried turkey. Yeah.
Fried turkey. What else we got here? Hold on. Deb's going on your side. Yes. Smells and tastes better.
The pepper all right. I mean, you teach your own.
Yeah, I get that's
kind of like the white meat's dry. You got to put something on it,
Oh, my gravy. Did you like the gravy? Do you like gravy?
I stay away from gravy.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I'll put cranberry on it.
What do you think? It's like too fat, the gravy?
No, it's just I'd rather have the cranberry because it's
really
sweetness. Yeah.
Hold on. You don't like turkey gravy?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know. I should be thrown out of the country. Really.
That's one of the few things I found that I think is wrong with you. Other than that, you're a human being.
Yeah.
Oh. So what I do is my turkey, I put in the roasting pan. So I put garlic, onions, peppers.
You get all the dripping.
Yeah, all the drippings, everything. Take all that out. put in a blender, blend it all up, pour it back into the roasted pan at the bottom, salt, pepper the way you want, add some chicken broth or whatever to extend it a little bit. For an extender, we call that an extender. I learned the word extender when I was working on a horse breeding farm.
Could use one of those, actually.
An extender? But on the horse breeding farm, they take the sperm. The male. So on the standard bred, obviously, like a thoroughbred horse, maybe people don't know this. I didn't when I grew up. Thoroughbred horses actually they breed a thoroughly. So the stud inseminates the mare with no. That's it. Like let her rip. You know, what they call that, bareback or whatever that is. Now on standard bred, they have the stud wears a condom. So they capture all the sperm and then they add some extender, so there's more sperm to it. So like just you can use more. So
you get more.
Yeah, more spread per sperm. I'll tell you, it's a funny thing at the horse farm because families come, like they'll have a horse, either the stud or mare. Typically it's a mare because the mare comes into the farm and they pay the stud to impregnate the mare. So the families will come in and watch this whole process. So the grandma's there, the mother, father, the kids are all standing around watching this horse.
The family event.
Well,
That's better than a drive-in theater, man.
Oh, one of the funniest things is too. So to find out whether the mares are in season or not, they have this tiny little pony that they get. He doesn't get in the same field as the mares, but he's on the outside of the fence. So the mares will back up to the pony. So their combination, the mares will act in a certain way. They'll what do they call it? There's a term for it too, but obviously they know when the mare is
she's flirting.
Ready to breed around. The poor little pony, they don't let him have sex all summer long. So I swear to God, his balls are hanging down. It must hang down like he's a pony, but his balls are dragging on the ground by the end of the summer.
They probably outweigh him.
Oh God. They then get him, they get some old work mare, like that's just past his prime.
Take care of him.
But put the pony up on a bale of hay. And then he goes and
like Gunsmoke, go see Miss Kitty.
Oh God, I remember. I guess I grew up on a farm, but not a breeding farm like that. Yeah. So when I went to work on this breeding farm and I saw this, I was like, "Oh God, it's funny." Oh.
Now, were you on a dairy farm, Tom? Did you have cows?
We had a dairy farm. Yes. Yep. Yeah. So, a big thing now too. Oh, I have a question for you. Raw milk. How are you? What do you feel about raw milk?
I don't do milk and
yeah.
But it's weird. You can buy raw cheese, but you can't buy raw milk.
Well, you can buy raw milk, but it's I can't remember what it is. This is from dairy, from the farms, or there's some. But they don't sell it. They don't allow them to sell in the stores, or whatever.
Yeah, I dated years ago. I dated a girl who lived on a dairy farm, and no, but certain people.
Oh, I thought you were
that's no joke. To buy the raw milk.
Right. Yeah, so I grew up on raw milk until I was like 15 or 16 years old. So raw milk is unpasteurized milk. So they pasteurize and basically heat up the milk, kill up germs and all that kind of stuff. So they claim that the raw milk is healthier, it's natural, but you get the risk of all the germs in it. But I mean,
did all right by you.
Yeah. The theory was too that it really helps as you're growing up, strengthen your bones and everything too.
Sure. So here's my theory. We use the term "big farm boy" in hockey, right? Well, one of the big Western farm boys. That's who you pretty much fit. Are you your size because of genetics, obviously, but also because you grew up on a farm working, which is working out.
Totally. Oh yeah, no question.
And eating nothing but like real food.
Yep, exactly right. So we would get a cow, slaughter it, put it in wrap it up in brown paper, the steaks, the ground beef. It's in the freezer in the basement. We had our own vegetables we grew on the farm, potatoes, everything. And then the raw milk. And again, you're working. So when you're lifting bales of hay, you're lifting up anywhere from 50 to 70 pounds over and over all day long. I remember going to training camp one year, one of my good buddies, Tom McLeod, and he was a really good athlete too. And I was walking in front of him someplace and he goes, "You are built like a brick shithouse." He says, "Man, I didn't know what that meant. I guess I just was doing it all the time."
Right.
But but you two guys go to shake hands. And,
your hand disappears.
Yeah, that's the farm boy thing. Yeah, but you're right. It is genetics, but it's also, especially at that young age, that's all you know, right? I was mad too. I used to just get so jacked up about my arms growing, like my arms getting bigger.
Yeah.
And I would like anytime there's a beam anywhere, I would grab the beam and do some pull-ups or like that. And then I stand in front of the mirror, like look at my arms getting chipped.
Yeah, but that's the way you grow.
Yeah.
I mean, you didn't have a gym membership then, did you?
No.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's funny because I got drafted by the Peterborough Petes, and Roger Nielsen was in season. Oh, the fruits, yes. Oh, the milk in season, yes. Roger Nielsen was coach of Peterborough Petes, and he was the first guy who was really into fitness and everything. You guys got along great. So he sent me a training program like bench press. So we had just built a house. So my father took the leftover piece of the kitchen cabinet and made a bench for me. So when I'm benching, I'm laying on this kitchen cabinet, and he made some weights from whatever, but it worked. I mean, it was weights. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've seen some of the videos in, either Africa or probably Africa more so, where they make gyms.
Yeah.
Is it noon?
Almost. Oh yeah, it is noon.
Yeah.
You gotta roll.
Well, it's not noon yet, but let me just finish with. But they'll make their weights out of like concrete blocks and everything like that, and they just they get it done.
What's the saying? Time under pressure, right? Is that what it is? Time under pressure.
Time under tension.
Time under tension.
Yeah.
So yes.
But I mean, I'll go in the woods sometimes because I'm just tired of gyms.
Yeah.
I'd rather rock, do body weight squats with the rock, some with a rock or something.
Well, what is that? Like, why have we gotten tired of gyms? I'm the same way. Like, it just.
Well, because I've been in it for decades.
I know. I guess
I'd rather be out in the fresh air and jumping around.
And I'm sure you're the same as me. I've got a big mouth too, right? So I go in there and I talk to everybody, try to help everybody else.
Oh yeah, no, I do far too much social.
Yeah. And then when you want to be left alone, it's our own fault. Now we painted all these. Yeah, everybody else talk. Yeah. All right, go ahead.
All right, man.
Good job there.
Great Thanksgiving.
Yeah. You know what we'll do too is maybe we'll find one of those ponies that the breeding ponies. Maybe we get a video of him having sex at the end of the summer.
Yeah. Just let it fly.
Yeah. All right, brother. Hey, that's right. Happy Thanksgiving to you, everybody. That's right. Everybody. And I know we touched on this a lot. During the holidays here, it is really important to check on people with the mental health issues and all that kind of stuff. All right. Everybody, happy Thanksgiving.
Have a good Thanksgiving.
Okay.